What's good, YouTube? It's your number one hero, Negro Midoriya, aka BlvckDeku, and today I'm gonna be talking about that Assassin's Creed Valhalla that premiered at Ubisoft 2020 just this past Sunday. This video was supposed to be out much earlier than this, but I just had to get my thoughts together on this game just because it's a very polarizing game right now, and I just didn't exactly know what to think of it at the time, so I had to think it over for a couple of days. So, Valhalla. Let's talk about those graphics. The graphics there's no improvement over the graphics since Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like they look basically the exact same, if not slightly worse, I want to say. Now, me personally, I'm a gameplay over graphics kind of guy. Like, the graphics can be iffy, but if the gameplay is good. But like, you would think after it's been 2 years since Odyssey came out, you would think we would see some kind of graphical improvement by now, just a little bit, but there's nothing new. And the game still looks like it's pretty unpolished at the moment, because even like during the conference, like there was a point in the game where like you can clearly see like the assassin, the Viking girl or whatever her name is, I forgot, her like face is like clipping like straight through her clothing. It's so obvious. And the fire effects, oh my fucking god. Like, it's 2020 and you still can't make fire effects look good. Like, it looks like the fire effects in this game were deadass straight ripped from Rainbow Six Siege, which is funny because it's also a Ubisoft game. The fire effects were shit in 2015 and they're shit now, Ubisoft. Okay, but that's basically all I gotta say about the graphics. So let's get into the gameplay. So in this game, you can build your own settlement, and as you raid other like nearby towns or villages, I guess, you'll build up your settlement, so if you get more tools, services, and like new settlers, and so that might be a cool feature into the game. I could see that being like something I might fight for. It could be interesting, but we'll see. So the combat, honestly, is where I probably have the most issues. But to start off with the positives, the new combat abilities look really dope. Like, I know there's like one ability where you can just chuck like a bunch of axes at your opponent. That looks kind of cool. The new finishers look dope. They're brutal. They look great. They fit the Viking aesthetic that they're going for in this game. Look great. There's a dual wielding mechanic in the game where basically you can dual wield any kinds of weapons, any two different types of weapons if you wanted to. So you can dual wield like a flail and a hammer, or you could even dual wield like two shields simultaneously, like on some Captain America shit. Like, it does look really dope. I understand like Assassin's Creed doesn't always mean like the most realistic thing, but there's something about like the dodging and I guess like some other movements in the game that just look really off-putting. Like, they don't look human. Like, just 1 second you're standing there and the next thing you're just dashing forward like you're playing some kind of platformer video game. Like, it looks weird. So you remember how back in the previous installments of Assassin's Creed where if you would escape or exit a battle, like your health would automatically replenish? Not in this game. In this game, your health will not replenish after battle. You'll have to sift for resources and find food and fish for food, and you gotta basically use those resources and those food to basically replenish your health. I'm not sure how I feel about that mechanic. It feels like another thing that's gonna be padding the game, making the game just a little bit more difficult than it really has to be. There's also a siege mode in the game that's called Assault in Valhalla, where basically you have to break through enemy lines into a fortress or a castle and basically just take it over. So at first it looked interesting, but after hearing from some other people who played hands-on, they say it gets very repetitive. Like, apparently it doesn't change up like at all. I was hoping that wasn't the case. Like, I was hoping that within the game you would have different scenarios that you would have to play with, maybe different strategies that you would have to take along the way in order to take a fortress or a castle, so it doesn't get super repetitive. But I guess that's just not the case. I was hoping they had learned from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because Assassin's Creed Odyssey also had like this big battle mode, but it was extremely repetitive and it got boring after a while, and you really didn't want to have to do them so many times unless like you necessarily had to. And now this is the most controversial part, I think, there's gonna be, that I think a lot of people are upset about. But there's a stamina bar in the game for your player in combat, and I don't understand why they choose to put in a stamina bar now, especially in what it looks like is gonna be one of the most action-packed Assassin's Creeds yet. An issue I've had with the previous past 2 Assassin's Creeds is the fact that there's no real difficulty spike in the game, like a legitimate increase in difficulty. Difficulty in the past 2 Assassin's Creed games have just been oh, the enemy has more health, and it just takes longer to kill him. So it's essentially he's just one big bullet sponge that you have to spend like 10 minutes hacking at with the exact same moves until he's dead. So adding a stamina bar on top of that, which I'm pretty sure like it's going to be the exact same thing in terms of bullet sponges, like it just makes the game even slower and more unnecessarily difficult. I don't see the point of a stamina bar. I really don't. And get this one. Your own horse, your own trusty steed, also has its own stamina bar. Like, why does the horse need to have a stamina bar? Like, it just feels like needless padding to the game. You don't need it in the game. Like, I already have to travel so far into the game. Why add a stamina bar to my horse so I can't sprint as further as I want to? It doesn't make any sense. So what I've gotten out of the conference is basically that Valhalla has officially added way too much padding and unnecessary bullshit into the game that we never needed in the first place to make an Assassin's Creed game. And even calling it an Assassin's Creed game is also a stretch, because based on what I've heard from other people that have got hands-on with the game, is that a large majority of the game is just straight action. Like, it doesn't feel like a real Assassin's Creed game. Okay, wait, so I can't say it doesn't feel like Assassin's Creed because I haven't played it yet, but it doesn't look like an Assassin's Creed game. It looks like a mixture of, like, I want to say The Witcher 3 and Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War. And one more thing I want to add on that has nothing to do with the game itself, but this game comes out on November 17th, and Cyberpunk 2077 comes out on the 19th. And I don't know how this game's gonna do against Cyberpunk, because everyone and their mother is gonna be playing that game once it comes out. It's like one of the most hyped games like in a good minute. Like, it's not Ubisoft's fault that it's doing this, because Cyberpunk kept getting pushed back so many times, but one more thing I wanted to add on, just to how this game could potentially be the worst in this Assassin's Creed mythical trilogy, if you want to call it, in terms of maybe just gameplay and sales. Alright, so if y'all enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, hit the notification button so as you know when I post new content. Also, you can follow me on my Twitch channel, my Instagram, and my Twitter. All of that in the description box below. This has been BlvckDeku, your #1 hero, and I'm out. See ya.